Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my Patreon. This is the CORONAWAY Yoga Challenge. Today is day 5 already. These days are flying by. And the pose of the day is side crow. So we did crow pose as our very first pose of this challenge, and that was when we came straight forward, right? With our knees coming to the back of our triceps. And so side crow is a little bit different. The knees are still together, the knees are still tucked, but now we're taking them to the side. So we have a bit of a asymmetric situation rather than a symmetrical situation going on, and that can be a little weird to figure out. So let's jump right into it. If you have a block, grab it. This can be really, really helpful to progress into this pose if it's new for you and if you feel a little bit wobbly or just like you're having a hard time holding your own body weight up, okay? So we'll begin in toe stand, tucking your toes under, bringing them all the way together and balancing on the ball of your foot. If you need a little bit of stability, that block can really help you here as well. Now, a really cool trick that I learned a while ago was that if you want to work on your side crow, you can use a block and put it just a few inches to the outside of one of your hips, okay? You can even go this way. Now, as I reach my hands out to the side, think of a 90-degree turn. So if you used your obliques, just like in our core warm-up in the previous video, you can activate and twist, looking 90 degrees to the right. Bring your hands down, and your hands should be shoulder distance, even though one hand is gonna feel a little bit closer and one hand's gonna feel a little bit further away, right? Because the hand to the furthest corner of that body is getting a little bit bigger of a side stretch. Now, with the block close to your hip, start to lean forward like you're gonna go into a yoga push-up. Set your hips down first. Adjust your hands if you need to, and then practice leaning forward, leaning until your feet become light and they can naturally lift up, okay? Now this is obviously a very supported side crow, but what it does is it teaches us what it feels like to tip and transfer weight, yeah? So I would recommend doing this maybe 3 times. You can also turn the block this way if that feels good to you. So twisting over towards the right, bringing your hands down, practice leaning the hips, and then letting the shoulders lean so far to the right with a square chest the best you can, that those toes just lift up, and then you hinge right back. Yeah, so we'll do this to both sides. Once again, I'll try with the block this way first, this time turning over towards the left, reaching the hands cross body, letting the hips settle, and coming to the side, coming back to center, coming back to a balance. Your ankles might be a little bit tired. It's okay to take breaks in between if you need to pause the video. Turn your block the other way. Try reaching, and playing with the blocks is just playing with preferences. It's not wrong to do one way or another, it's just different. Okay, so let your toes tuck under for a second. Give yourself a little rest. So if you have been following along with this challenge and you tried flying split yesterday, then you felt how we try to use our elbows and leverage with our own body to support the posture. So it isn't always as floating as it seems, if that makes sense. The geometry behind the body and the way we can use body mechanics and leverage really make the technique important, because you don't need to be the strongest person in the world to do something that looks pretty cool, impressive, and strong. So now we're gonna go for the full expression now that we've had a second to rest our ankles, rest our wrists. Okay, so just like that twist that we did in low lunge, we're gonna do the same thing. So take your hands in front of your heart center, press them together. Inhale, reach up through your palms. Exhale, let's slice it over to the left. Let your elbow cross. Use this hand to push your thigh. Cross a little bit deeper. Okay, now hands, we're gonna reach out to the side. Now imagine like that block was still there, except instead of resting your hip on the block, you're gonna rest your hip on the elbow that's in back. So hinge at the elbows, Lift up onto your tippy toes a little bit. Look forward, lean forward so much that your feet just start to float up off the ground. And breathe. See if you can hold for 3 to 5 breaths. Coming back nice and slow. Inhale back through center. Arms coming up. Exhale, twist over to the right. Press your right hand into that thigh. Cross the elbow a little bit deeper. Reach the hands over to the side. I'm a little too far back. Now once again, the elbow that's in back is going to bend and the hip is going to rest on it. Lean forward, lean forward, lean forward. Keep leaning until your feet become so light that they just lift. Lengthen through your spine. Press the inner thighs and feet together. See if you can take 3 to 5 breaths here. And then come back. Now 1 for the gram. All right, you guys, that is it. That is the full tips and tricks to our side crow pose. One more thing I guess you could do is instead of placing the block to support your hip, if you're worried about face planting over to the side, you can also try to measure where your block would go for your forehead to rest, so that as you come into the posture, you kind of have a little bit of a buffer there. Obviously that wasn't the right measurement for me, but play with it. If you're having a hard time, if you guys have any questions, comments, please tag me, message me, email me, whatever you gotta do. And be sure to hashtag CORONAWAY Yoga Challenge if you try the pose. If you take a picture or a video, add me on Instagram at BK Aerialist and on YouTube at Move with BK. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Stay happy, stay healthy. Namaste.